I don't want you to be the guy in the PG-13 movie everyone's really hoping makes it happen. I want you to be like the guy in the rated R movie. You're a bad man. You're a bad man. You're a bad man.
In the city of Los Angeles, where everyone is a player.
What do you guys do?
Oh, I'm a producer.
Mike can't even get a seat on the bench.
Where do I know you from?
You ever been to the Ha Ha Hole on Pico?
Oh, you're a comedian.
It's it's a dream. It's a lot of hard work and travel.
I know where it is. Starbucks. You came in and asked me for an application.
But now his closest friends are getting him back into the swing of things.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
This happens to be a $100 minimum bet table. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at one of our lower stakes tables.
How you ladies doing this evening?
What do you drive?
Cavalier.
It's a nice touch.
So how long do I wait to call?
2 days is like industry standard.
Well, how long are you guys going to wait to call your babies? 6 days.
Miramax presents the film that had an entire country on its feet.
You know what, big boy? You're grown up!
Swingers.
Hi, this is Nikki. Leave a message.
Hi, Nikki, this is Mike again. I just called because it sounded like your machine might have cut me off when I...
Roger Ebert calls it sweet, funny, observant.
Mikey's the big winner. Mikey wins.
A movie that defined a generation.
Hi, this is Nikki. Leave a message.
I didn't want you to think I was weird or desperate or... Hello?
Mike, don't ever call me again.
Swingers.
Wow.
Get a nightlife.
Welcome to the latest episode of the B-Movie Club. I'm your host, Kevin. This week we'll be discussing the 1996 comedy classic Swingers, starring Jon Favreau, Vince Vaughn, Heather Graham. It's an all-star cast. For those of you joining us for the first time, each week in the B-Movie Club, I discuss certain guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the past. Go ahead and go to our page on Facebook, Original B-Movie Club, and give us the big thumbs up. Also go to our page on YouTube at KD9575 and hit subscribe. It's totally free. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at The B-Movie Club. In this story, Mike is a struggling actor-comedian. He's moved to LA. He's had this breakup with his girlfriend that he's still trying to get over. And his buddies Trent and Sue and some of these other guys are all there to kind of cheer him up and kind of showcases like the LA lifestyle, the LA night scene. One point they rush off to Vegas and go gambling. Essentially the whole movie is about him trying to learn how to kind of let go from this previous relationship while also having interesting Hollywood experiences. They go to Hollywood parties, they go to secret speakeasy type bars late at night. Evidently on an average night they'll hit the bar at a certain time, then hit another bar, and then hit the party up in the hills, all the while rubbing elbows with their other aspiring actor buddies. So that's basically the premise of the story. Obviously he works out everything in the end, good things happen, comedy ensues. The story is loosely based on Jon Favreau's personal life, things that had happened to him, how he moved to LA, how he struggled, how he was dealing with a breakup back home, back east, and how his friends Vince Vaughn, who plays Trent in the movie, basically the same character, and Ron Livingston plays his other buddy Rob. He wrote these parts with his friends in mind. That was always his goal. A lot of the dialogue was based upon actual conversations they'd had over their friendship together, and he took what he liked. And of course, when you work with Vince Vaughn, there's a lot of ad-libbing at the moment as well. This movie, he'd written the script, got it all ready to go, and he had his other buddy, Doug Liman, all set to direct it. So he went and peddled it to a bunch of different studios, and studios were very interested. They liked the patter, it was very appropriate for the time that this film was made. It was kind of a lot of fancy catchphrases. You're so money, you don't even know it. Vegas, baby, Vegas. They loved it. But Doug Liman was like, we want to say you this, but the writer who wrote it and his buddies are going to act in it. At that point, the studios were like, we out. No can do. So they had to go back, and they actually had to finance the movie themselves. They did kind of a reader's theater sort of thing, where they hired a local theater, and all the actors sat around a table and read it out loud to kind of drum up interest from friends and people in the neighborhood, people in LA who might be interested. And they eventually made the movie. And I remember seeing it myself, and was just, I didn't see it in the theater. It was one of those kind of word of mouth things. And I watched it in a buddy's house, and it just bowled me over. I thought it was hilarious. Vince Vaughn, you knew immediately he was going to be a star. I remember watching this going, if I'm Jon Favreau and I'm writing the script, why didn't I make my character the funny one instead of the weepy, whiny one? But that's how it really went down. So I guess he was going for realism there. They paid homages, if you will, to certain other Hollywood directors. Quentin Tarantino scene. There's a Martin Scorsese scene in there that they're going for. All sorts of interesting things like that. At one point, they wanted to use the Jaws theme for one particular scene where they're at a party. So they had to go and approach Steven Spielberg about this. And when Spielberg saw the movie, he let them use the Jaws theme and also said, okay, and I'm casting Vince Vaughn in my next movie, which went on to be Jurassic Park: The Lost World, if you remember that one. Good times, had by all. Now, because they didn't have much money when they were filming it, they would just go to places like bars and parties and then just film at the party. A couple times they hung up signs and said, if you walk any further into this room, you're consider yourself an unpaid extra for this movie. Things like that. One scene where they're driving back from Vegas, they were filming on the side of the road where they're kind of chit-chatting. Vince Vaughn's taking a whiz over in the bushes. Cops pulled over and demanded that they had to see their permit that allowed them to do that, because evidently you can't film at this area without a permit. So they're like, hang on, let me see if we can get that permit. We have it here somewhere. And meanwhile, they were filming that scene surreptitiously. Just kind of had the camera in his hand, kind of. Meanwhile, Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau are just kind of chit-chatting, but that's the scene. So that's how you do it. That's how you do it back in the day when you don't have any money. So good times. The movie currently has an 87% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. And I just watched it recently after not having seen it for a while, and it is still hilarious. Vince Vaughn is totally hilarious. Obviously, he's gone on to bigger and better things. For a couple years there, he was kind of branching away from his kind of Trent persona from Swingers and did other movies. Didn't have as much success until he said, you know what, I'm just going to be Vince Vaughn in every movie. I'm going to go back and just play that role. And that's what we love, okay? Jon Favreau acted a little bit in a few things after this, but then went on to become a director. He directed such things as Elf, of course, and the first 2 Iron Man movies. So there you go. Good times. Doug Liman, who directed this, went on to direct Edge of Tomorrow, The Bourne Identity. The guy who plays Rob, his buddy Ron Livingston, you've seen him 1,000 times. He was in Band of Brothers on HBO. He was in Office Space. Heather Graham makes an appearance later in the movie. It's an all-star deal, okay? So there you go. Good times had by all. It is still streaming instantly on Netflix, so if you have not seen it, you need to get out of that cave you're hiding in and watch it, okay? Next week, we're moving away from the swinging comedy into the classic science fiction movie, X, The Man with X-Ray Eyes. This is another one of Erin's choices. She's in Italy right now, but she made a point to film some of her reactions to it, and we're going to splice it into our episode next week, so get ready for that. Good times. Don't forget to go to our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club, and go to our page on Facebook at KD9575, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at The B Movie Club. Send in any favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, questions, and we may talk about it on the show. And don't forget any movie suggestions, anything that we haven't talked about. Please keep them coming. So there you have it. Next week, X, the Man with X-Ray Eyes. Thank you for joining us, and be well.